What about me, Magnus? What about me? I can help. I want to help. What about me?
Blur.
So here are my thoughts on the upcoming Transformer film, The Rise of the Beast. The first thing I noticed is in the trailer, we see this scene where this kid is coming out of a vehicle as it's transforming, or this guy's coming out of a vehicle as it's transforming. And it's a pretty cool scene. It grabbed my attention. I said, okay, I'll pay attention. So this is a big break, it looks like, from what we saw in the last couple Transformer films. You know, Michael Bay's been behind the whole Transformer idea. And I think the last series we got Mark Wahlberg as a character in there. And Mark Wahlberg, to me, is not a good actor. He's always panting every time he talks. But what I noticed in this new trailer is that, Bumblebee is no longer the main mascot. And it got me to thinking, with the context of why he's no longer the mascot. Bumblebee has been a mascot, it seems like, for the last 6 or several films. I don't know how many total there were. But the importance of that is Bumblebee is a character. Well, all the characters in this series are playing out something in the sky. But Bumblebee is the mascot because he's the zodiacal rabbit. A lot of times, if there's a character in a mascot state, they're going to play the rabbit position of the sky or the sun. And these characters are easy to identify. They usually have like the first name and the last name will usually have the same initial, like Bumblebee or Peter Parker or Roger Rabbit. And now everything's kind of moon-based. This is why Bumblebee's no longer the main character. This is why Peter Parker is no longer the mascot of Marvel. It's more so Kamala Khan. She's a moon-based zodiacal rabbit. And you see the same idea going on here in the Transformer series. And just to drive home that idea of Bumblebee being a zodiacal rabbit, consider he had his own movie. It was out of the canon or the timeline of the other Transformer films. And you see they gave him bunny kind of ears in that film to drive home that idea. And whenever there's a bunny character, I'm always looking for a reference to Sirius the Dog Star. Like Sonic is a rabbit, zodiacal rabbit, and he's given Tails as the Sirius the Dog Star. And that's when you have the portal jumping aspect being shown in that character. So they're swapping out Bumblebee, it looks like, for this character Mirage. And Mirage is a character who was in the cartoon and had a minor role in 1 or 2 of the other films. I'm not sure if it was in 1 or 2. But in the last film, he was a red Ferrari. And in the cartoon, he's an open wheel race car, like a Formula One or Indy car, where he's white and blue. But in this film, they changed him to a 911, silver 911, and it has some blue in it. So we already have the play of the Quicksilver idea going on. So I know that this character is encoding Mercury. And it makes so because this is a reboot or a new canon, so to say. It could change the canon of the last films. It's a whole new arc, new characters, it seems. So it's a redoing of the film. And whenever we have something like that, you'll see Mercury encoded. The example I've given, a good example is, you had the Whedon cut of Justice League, and then in the Snyder cut, the rebooting or the changing of the canon, you have the Mercury Steppenwolf look. So we kind of see that going on here with Mirage, where he's changed for this film to a Quicksilver 911. And also, with that being said, not only is it's a rebooting of the series and the canon, it's also, I would expect that whenever you have a character who's encoding Mercury, for there to be some type of time travel. And, that's kind of anticipated with the Beast creatures being in it. But it almost drives home that there definitely will be time travel in this film with Mirage playing Mercury. And the word Mirage is kind of like a play on that idea, like mirror age or Mercury. So we'll see where that takes us. So we have this new character called Noah. And, Noah is just letting you know that the series is now moon-based, where the last series we had a character named Leo and Sam. Those are like angles or angels of the sun idea. And, whenever you have a character who's playing the sun, he might have a partner or assistant named Sam, like Captain America, like Frodo, like Will Smith in I Am Legend with his dog named Sam. And these are just ways to let you know these characters are about the sun. But now we have the characters in this film being about the moon, where you have Noah. And there's a lot of recent films and series coming out now where characters are now starting to be called Noah because, the Great Reset, but also everything is inverted. It's moon-based stories now. So the actor who's playing this character named Noah is a guy named Anthony Ramos. And Anthony, whenever an actor has a name or stage name, I don't just look at it like that's their real name. I think it's by design and it encodes something, especially on how they're casted in films. So we have a character named Anthony, which is a play on a tiny Ra. And you notice he's way short for a leading role character in a film. and he also happens to be in a film with Titans. So it seems like this is seemingly by design. And I remember seeing him years ago in a commercial. It was almost like someone was trying to create an organic story for a future star, a future celebrity. And here we are with him starring in a pretty big movie. And then the opposite of him in this story is a character named Elena, which is a play on the moon goddess idea, like Celine or Selena. And you'll notice that if you ever have a film or a story with a character named Elena in it, or Celine or Selena, someone around them is going to may get killed, especially when it's an opposing sun and moon couple, like if she's dating a Leo, for example. But both of these characters are moon based, so I don't think she'll be the character that dies in the film, but I think there will be a character who dies, and it probably will be the Ron Perlman character in the Optimus Primal. As Ron is a word that always points back to the moon, and in a lot of different films that Ron Perlman's in, he's playing a moon-based character, and a lot of them he even dies. And this encoding of Mercury in this Transformer series isn't something new. In the one of the Transformer movies, Dark Side of the Moon, which was I believe the third film, so it was the end of the Trinity saga for the first set of characters. There was a Soundwave was in it, and he was a silver Mercedes that encoded Mercury. And he had Sirius, the dog star that comes out of his chest, and then also the Scorpio. And you'll see a lot of different stories, like the Scorpion King, for example. The Scorpio and Sirius Dog Star are tied together in a story usually.
What about me, Magnus? What about me?
But even in the 1980s cartoon movie, where it was kind of like a reset or a new arc or a new age being established, with the new set of characters or Generation 2 taking over, and there's a character named Blur who's a Quicksilver play on Mercury type of character in that film as well.
What about me, Magnus? What about me? I can help. I want to help. What about me? Blur.
What are you doing out of rehab, you goddamn cokehead?
Whoopsie!
Get back here!